I'm not a tank, by the way. I am a healer. So I'm in light armor. I'm gonna run away here and throw in a heal. Block him. Yeah, it's pretty freaking fun. If you block at the right moment, it stuns them. Boom, get back. There we go. Oh, die already. Ah, I'm stunned. Got him. Whew. Yeah, fighting 3 guys at once can be a little bit tricky sometimes. But, yeah, it's so fun. As you can see, it's very smooth and fluid and just well done overall. There is or collision detection, so you can't just run straight through stuff. So it adds a little bit more complexity to the whole melee system and the blocking system. Just so well done. I just can't stress it enough. It is a thoroughly enjoyable experience. Another thing that's really great about what they've done here, as you see, like I said, I'm wearing light armor. I'm kind of a healer slash nuker, yet I'm able to do sword and board. I'm able to, if I wanted to, I could wear heavy armor, even though I'm a Templar. You can spec your class to be any way you want it. No, it doesn't get rid of the Trinity. For instances, you do need a spec healer, and you do need a spec tank. So they haven't fully gotten away from the Trinity, and I don't think they should. I'm just fine with the Trinity in games. It doesn't bother me. Every game that's tried to fully get away from it has been an abysmal failure, so I'm glad they didn't try that. But it is pretty revolutionary in the way that they have done it. I mean, I've seen, I ran an instance the other day with a sorcerer, a full mage class. It's supposed to be, at least. But instead, the guy has tanked it, or has spec'd it to be a tank. And he tanked it like a champ. He was the best tank I've seen so far, and he's a freaking sorcerer. It was brilliant. He was summoning his little sorcerer pet and sending it to attack the ads while he focused on the boss, and it worked out brilliantly. And he wasn't overly squishy or anything because he spec'd it right, and that's really cool. These 3 here, your class, these are different depending on which class you go: Dragon Knight, Knight Blade, Sorcerer, or Templar. So that's really the only thing that matters at character creation, is what 3 class lines you get access to. And they're pretty well split out. For Templar, there's kind of like the melee line, and then the nuker DPS line, and then the healer line, which you can see I've got a little bit of each one, more so in the nuker and the healer, so that way I can really do both roles in an instance or by myself. And you can do any weapon you want to. If I wanted to do two-handed, all I gotta do is equip a two-handed sword, or whatever. If I wanted to dual wield, I can just equip it and do that. That's a really great way to do it. It allows for some really full and robust customizations of your spec. And same with armor. You just throw it on. I've got some medium pants on right now because they have a like extra XP bonus for exploration XP. Even though I haven't spec'd into medium armor, I can still wear it, and I'm actually gaining in my medium armor stat just from having the 1 piece of medium armor on, so that's pretty cool. Heavy armor, I don't even know how I got that. Maybe early on I had a piece of heavy armor on, but you can wear or use anything without speccing into it. It's just, obviously once you start to spec into it, you're going to be way better. So that's pretty cool. And there are NPC guilds like the Fighters and the Mages Guild and stuff that you can spec into, which I have not thus far. And Undaunted is another one. And each race, there's the full spectrum of races: Argonian, Khajiit, Dark Elf, High Elf, Breton, Imperial, Nord, so on and so forth. Depending on which one of those you pick, they do have unique racial skills, but really it's not make or break. So yes, Imperial is probably better suited to a tank, but I'm a healer and it works out just fine. It really, whatever you want to be. If you want to look like a kitty cat Khajiit, go that route. The mechanics of it, they're not going to gimp you or anything by picking the race that you just like the look of. But it is pretty cool how they've got different traits in here. See, I gain one-handed and shield line faster. because I'm an Imperial, and I spec into this to get extra health and extra stamina. The crafting system, very full. It it seems very complex, but underneath it, it is fairly simplistic. I will admit that. But it's honestly one of the best, if not the best, crafting system I've seen for years. The way I see it is, it's a solid foundation for them to expand upon. One of the nice things about it is you can do anything that you want to up to level 14. So what I mean by that is you can craft up to level 14 gear without speccing into it. So I was making, swords, I was making my own armor up to level 14 armor. And once you get to level 14 armor, you can't make, level 16 or 18 armor without putting some points into it. So I would have to put a point into this tailoring to be able to make level 18 robes. Which is nice, so that way you can try them all out and figure out which one you like the best before you start spending points into it, or, you know what I mean? So that's kind of cool. I haven't even messed with enchanting yet. I did put a couple points into provisioning, which is food buffs, which are very, very nice. I found some pretty cool recipes for that, which is what I spec'd into it. I mean, really powerful ones, too, that, like, increase my, here, I can show you here. 45 mutton pie increases my max health and magicka by 115 for 1 hour. That's freaking awesome. That makes a huge difference in instances. That's saved my ass many a times. And because I was the healer, pretty much prevented a wipe of the group. So that's pretty sweet. The alchemy is awesome too. It's very similar to Oblivion or Skyrim, where you get just when you're out and about, you can. I don't see any around here. There's just plants, that you just pick up, and oops, wrong button. And then you have to identify them. You see, they have these little traits, just like in the other Elder Scrolls games. They start out as all question marks, but when you start tinkering with them, you at an alchemy station, you start to uncover what those traits are. Like, I've fully uncovered now what cornflower does, and then you put a cornflower, which restores magicka, up with a buglos, which also has a restore magic on it, and then you combine that, and you have to throw in one of these solvents like clear water, and then you put all those into the little craft table, and you hit the craft, and boom, it crafts you a restore magicka potion. Yeah, if they have multiple traits, for example, like this one has restore magicka and increase spell power, if you find another flower that also has both of those traits, it gives you both of those traits in the potion. So that's a really great way of doing it. I mean, it stays true to Elder Scrolls while yet fitting it into a solid MMO experience. So I do have some complaints about the game. Nothing major though, really. It does cater a little bit too much, I think, to it oversimplifies things, especially when the UI is concerned. There's no way, for example, to go into the options and turn on general subtitles, which I think that is a massive failure and undoubtedly will lead to a class action lawsuit, because it really screws over deaf people. So that's a big complaint of mine. Also, there's no, at least that I've found, or nobody else that I've talked to has found, there's no window that shows buffs and debuffs. So, yeah, if someone in my group gets a debuff on them, I don't know when to, by looking at their health bars, I don't know when to hit my clear debuff, skill and whatnot. So, I don't really like that at all. I think they should have paid a little bit more attention to the MMOs of the past, and not some things. It's hard to explain. Sometimes it just seems like they're doing things differently just to do them differently, just to be contrary. I don't know, but that's, again, very minor things like that. The game's gorgeous, as you can see. I do have it on the high settings, not ultra settings, but high. Oh, Columbine. Here's one of the alchemy flowers I've been wanting to find some of this. Oh yeah, as you can see, it restores all 3 of the stats, so that's an awesome one to have. Sorry if I'm kind of giving away alchemy a little bit there, but unavoidable. What the heck are those? Wisps. Oh, I've not seen them. Oh my god, they're probably going to try to kill me. Anyway, yeah, the graphics are awesome. They're very Elder Scrolls looking. I was, again, worried that they were going to go with a more cartoony World of Warcraft look, but they didn't. Very impressed with the graphics overall. It does set a pretty high bar for your computer, but it's very well optimized, I think. Running on these high settings like I am, I'm getting about 40 FPS. Well, normally while not recording, I'm at 30 while recording, but it's very stable, sort of 30 or 40 FPS, and that's because I'm still running on my Asus G75 laptop, which only has a GTX 660. But if you have a desktop GTX 580 or a GTX 680, you're fine. Yeah, you can run it fine. Now, of course, if you have a 700 series, then you can beast it. But yeah, it's very much more. This is very unusual for these days. Most online games and just games in general are very CPU intensive. This game is actually more GPU intensive. So it's kind of a good thing for people that might have a little bit older computers, like a first gen or a second gen i7. Yeah, your CPU's falling a little bit behind, but you can just go get a new graphics card. A lot of games, that doesn't really help anymore because they're so CPU intensive, but here, it does help. So, that's a plus. Anyway, I think those are the main things I wanted to cover. It is a thoroughly enjoyable experience. It's true to the Elder Scrolls at its core, and it's just great fun. The instances are well done. They're fun from the ones I've seen. I haven't really gotten into the PvP much, but the PvP zone, it is not instanced PvP, so that's a huge plus. It's a very large. Let me see if I can zoom out here. This whole zone of Cyrodiil, which is frickin' gigantic, that is all an open world PvP zone. So there's like little keeps there that you have to attack. If you guys ever played Lord of the Rings Online back at the beginning of it, before it went free to play, the Edmores, it's very similar to that, but way bigger. You have to capture those keeps, and there's like an NPC boss there that you have to kill, and it's really cool. There's like siege mechanics with like you can lay down trebuchets and stuff and battering rams to knock down the keep's door, and then if your guild is the one that captures it, like you keep it for like your guild for a time, and you get some bonuses and stuff. I don't know. I haven't really delved deep into the PvP yet. Maybe later on down the road I will do a separate video on the PvP mechanics, but everyone I've talked to that has delved deeply into it is very happy with the PvP. But yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up. This file size is going to be freaking gigantic, but I hope you did enjoy. There will be more episodes to the channel coming soon, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Yeah, I'll do a channel news episode here to update you guys on where I've been for the last better part of 2 months. But anyway, I hope you all did enjoy. Check out Elder Scrolls Online. If you're into MMOs, it's a must-play. If you're a fan of the Elder Scrolls, it is a must-play. It's worth your $60. In my opinion, it's worth a $15 subscription. It's not buy-to-play. It's not free-to-play. It's subscription-based, which I think keeps out the riff-raff and all that. Anyway, though, check it out. It's definitely worth your time. Till next time, I hope y'all have a good one.